Ladies and gentlemen, hey, hi, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. Season 3 of Warzone 2 is here. Obviously, we saw several different meta changes in the form of various buffs and nerfs and also the addition of some new weapons. And so today, we are breaking down the new top 10 best loadouts to be running here in Season 3, just in general for Warzone 2. And we're starting here with a very fun one that I've enjoyed quite a bit over the past couple of days. This is the M4 and then also the P90, two weapons that are going to be perfect for every kind of gunfight, whether it's close range with the P90 or mid to long range with the M4. You got everything covered here. Before we go ahead and jump into the actual weapon setups, let's go through the perks and equipment and everything there. That's the same on every single one of the 10 loadouts today, so we only have to go over this once. As you can see, I use the smoke and the throwing knife for my equipment here. Smoke so I can get off revive plays. Maybe I can rotate in a place that doesn't have cover. They're just super clutch in this game. Throwing knives are there simply for the instant finishes, whether I'm playing Ashika Island, Al Mazrah Resurgence, standard battle royale. Just getting those easy cleanups without having to waste ammo is just super efficient in my opinion, so I love having that. And then for my perk package, as you guys can see, I'm running overkill, double time, resupply, and high alert. I've kind of gone back and forth with my tier 3 perks, whether I'm using quick fix or, you know, bird's eyes back. Now you can even use that. To me though, high alert, getting that ping when enemies are looking at you is just so clutch, especially late game. You can kind of know where to rotate based off of getting that ping. You know, if you have to make that quick maneuver right then and there to get out of that line of sight or whatever the case may be, it's very clutch. Everything else is kind of self-explanatory, right? But getting into the actual weapon setups here, let's start first with the M4. This really hasn't changed too much. It wasn't buffed or nerfed with Season 3, so it's going to be feeling nice and consistent, super reliable, very easy to use, great mid and long range TTK. I got the AMOP V4 first and foremost. As always, with every single optic today, tuning for that furthest eye position in the faster ADS. I got the 45 round mag on here. You could also jump up to 60. The cons here are not going to be as harsh anymore, which is nice to see. A lot of the attachments got changed so that their pros are better and their cons are a little bit more forgiving. They're less harsh, so you could go either or here, whatever your preference is. 60 still will be a bit slower than 45. High velocity ammo, pretty standard on all the mid to long range setups. We're tuning for the better velocity and better damage range. Edge 47 underbarrel is still phenomenal for that great stabilization and stability, especially for medium and long range weapons, right? We're tuning for the better stability and stabilization there. Then lastly, I go for the Echoless 80 suppressor. Great option whenever it is available. Better velocity, better damage range, minimal cons here too. We got the better velocity and better ADS speeds on those tunes. So this is, as I like to say, old reliable. You cannot go wrong with the M4. Then for the P90, we saw so many adjustments to other SMGs, and this was not touched. This was not buffed or nerfed. So inadvertently, it's kind of become the new #1 SMG in my opinion. I love this thing. It is so fast, so easy to use. Initially here, I got the Q900 rear grip, better for ADS and sprint to fire. I tuned to maximize those. Behind the face cam, I've got the TV TACCOM comb upgrade, which is again for better ADS and sprint to fire. We tune to maximize that, and then also the aim walking speed. I do use the basic blue dot here. I don't like the rail sights. I don't love the iron sights, so I do end up running an optic here. If you're okay with the optic, you could run the rails if you wanted to. You could run over pressured ammo if you wanted to. That's a good alternative there. Per usual, furthest eye position, faster ADS. 7 milliwatt laser is going to be clutch here for that better ADS and sprint to fire. We are once again tuning to maximize that. And then I go for the Lockshot KT85. This will just basically eliminate all potential horizontal bounce and give me some good control. Makes the gun super easy to shoot. We're tuning to maximize the control here. If you wanted to go for ADS speed, you could also tune for that. Doesn't really make a huge difference there. Regardless, because you can focus so much on mobility here, this is a gun that's going to fly and fry, and I love it right now. Loadout 2 is going to be very similar, attacking pretty much all ranges here, close, mid, and long, with the MP7 and the TAC-56. TAC-56 low recoil. It did see a headshot damage nerf with this update, but it's still going to be a great option for mid to long range. It's super easy to use, so you're going to land your shots, and your realistic TTK is going to be up there with the best of the best. Then MP7 also caught a headshot nerf, but it's still phenomenal for mobility and great for close to mid-range. Can even be used as sniper support in some cases because it's got a really good mid-range TTK. Here for the Scar, again, not really changing this setup all that much right now. We're just focused on control primarily and extending that range and velocity. I love the iron sights, so I don't use an optic. If you wanted to, you'd probably have to end up dropping one of the attachments for the underbarrel or the rear grip, one of those two. But for the rear grip, I use the combat. This is just straight up for better control. I tune to basically maximize that, the steadiness and the stability there. 40 round mag, once more, you could jump up to 60 if you wanted to. It's still going to work just fine either way there. High velocity ammo yet again, same tunes as always, better velocity, better damage range, Edge 47 once more for the better stabilization and stability, and the Echoless 80 once more as well, tuned for the better velocity and ADS speed. Just super consistent, very easy, very straightforward to use. You also can't go wrong with using the TAC 56. A lot of this right now, at least in the rifle category, is just about preference. And then for the MP7 here, once more, we're really focused on a lot of mobility here. I do go for some control though, because this is a weapon you could find yourself using into mid-range, and you want to keep it consistent there too. So I go for the soldier rear grip, better ADS than sprint to fire, tuning to maximize that per usual. The RXT stock is all about movement as well, better ADS, better sprint speed, some bonus, better crouch movement speed too, even though that's not super applicable. I go for the better stability and ADS on the tunes there. 7 milliwatt laser once more, better sprint to fire and ADS, tuning to maximize that as well. Tango underbarrel is always a great choice, especially for some close range weapons. It's very minimal with its cons, but offers some solid pros in the form of recoil steadiness and whatnot. I'm tuning basically just for mobility in this case. And once more, I got the Lockshot KT85, tuned for better ADS speed and better gun kick control in this instance. But overall, this is going to be a very easy weapon to use. Low recoil, great mobility, really good close range TTK as well. Loadout number 3, definitely an interesting one, but a very competitive one nonetheless. We've got the 7.62 Kastov and then the MX9, which is actually buffed for its sprint to fire. 7.62 wasn't really touched. It's still really good over long range in terms of TTK. It's just got more recoil than a Hemlock or a TAC 56 or an M4, right? So higher risk, higher reward in the form of this, but if you can get used to it, it's very worth your while. Then the MX9, fast, agile. The biggest problem here is its ammo capacity. You are stuck using the 32 round mag. If you could have 45 on this thing, it might be the #1 SMG, honestly. It's tricky to use because of this. It's something you have to really master and learn, but it is a very fun weapon and a very usable weapon right now, especially after the buffs there. Q900 rear grip, better ADS and sprint to fire yet again, tuning to maximize that. Behind the face cam, I've got the C11 riser attachment, also helps out with the ADS and sprint to fire. I tune for the better ADS, then some recoil stabilization in case you're like in the mid-range here. It'll be consistent for that. Cronen Mini Pro, I can't stand the AUG iron sight, so I gotta use a blue dot here. Furthest eye position, faster ADS. Then I go for the S901 barrel. This is pretty much all mobility based, but it gives you better range and velocity at the same time. So tons of great pros out of one attachment here. I tune for the better mobility primarily. Like I said, this is a weapon that you're gonna have to get used to because of the ammo supply and that capacity there. It's tricky, it's tough to navigate, but after you get used to it, it's a really fun weapon. And then the 7.62, like I said, it's just a powerhouse over long range. We're building to help out the control here because that's its biggest drawback right now. After you learn the recoil, after you master that, this thing's gonna fry. I got AMOT V4 on here for this eye position, faster ADS as always. 40 round mag, that is the max here, so you're kind of stuck with that. High velocity per usual, better velocity and better damage range on those tunes. Edge 47, better stability and stabilization. Obviously a huge aspect of the long range control there. And then also Polar Fire S, if you wanted to go, you know, for the Talon maybe, or the Zulu, which might offer a little bit more control, even Kastovia there. Those are all options too, but to me, Polar Fire S is really consistent, better velocity, better range. I tune for the better ADS and the velocity there to really enhance that. Like I said, it's a powerhouse. Thing will fry, just take some getting used to. You learn that recoil, you're all set. Now, loadout number 4 consists of the nerfed Hemlock, no longer the clear and obvious rifle. And as you can see, I mean, between the M4, the TAC, the Kastov, and now the Hemlock, you've got a lot of options for the rifle category. There is no clear #1. It's all kind of just mushed together in the same level of competitiveness, which frankly is good for the overall meta. I also pair this with the Vaznev. This was slightly nerfed with the headshot damage similar to the MP7. Still going to be a fantastic choice for close range though. Great TTK up close to the first like 12 meters or so. Also very aggressive and very fast paced. Here we're pretty much just focused on that mobility. I got the 45 round mag. I hate the reload animation, but 45 is kind of necessary for duos, trios, and quads. True tack rear grip, better ADS and sprint to fire, tuning to enhance and optimize that. R7 stock, better ADS, better sprint speed, better crouch movement speed. I tune for the better ADS and then some stability just for some consistency in the potential mid-range there. Olay laser, same as the 7 milliwatt, helping out with that ADS and sprint to fire, tuning to enhance that. Then lastly, because the damage drop-off is so severe and quick on the Vaznev, I go for the Cast 1 barrel. This extends the damage range just a little bit, but it's something, and anything you can get there is solid. I tune to enhance the mobility here though, so you're kind of getting the best of both worlds. That way it stays nice and aggressive while also having a little bit better range there for those close range fights where you're going to be taking the majority of your gunfights with a weapon like this. And then for the Hemlock, same setup as before. It again is just going to feel a little bit less effective because of the nerfs that it saw. AMOT V4, furthest eye position, faster ADS, rinse and repeat there. 45 round mag here is the max, so you're stuck with that. High velocity ammo, better velocity and range as always. Echoless 80 suppressor, the typical go-to. You can go for ADS or recoil smoothness there. It doesn't really matter too much. Then also slightly better velocity. Then I also go for the T50 barrel. Gonna help out with the range, the velocity, the control. Really solid option there for kind of knocking out all the things you want in a mid to long range gun. We tune for the better steadiness and damage range there. It still is low recoil. Its damage is just gonna be a little bit less effective than last season, but absolutely still a top tier choice. Now, as we continue on with the loadouts today, quick reminder, if you guys are new to the channel, every day I got you covered with everything you need to know about COD, whether it's news, updates, loadouts, tips, you name it. It's all right here. So feel free to subscribe and turn on those post notifications and join us ultimately on the road to 1 million subs. And if you guys enjoy the video, if you find it helpful, let me know by dropping a like on it. Let's try and aim for 2,000 likes on this one. Would really appreciate it if we could hit that. And want to give a quick shout out to my friends over at Gamer Advantage. You guys always see me wearing the frames. I rock them all day, every day. They are game changers. If you're looking at screens for long periods of time, whether it's work, it's school, whether you're gaming, these are going to help you a ton. Reduce your headaches, reduce your eye strain. They're even going to help you sleep better at night, which personally is my favorite benefit of them. That way you can wake up feeling nice and refreshed the next day, ready to do it all over again. If you want to get a pair for yourself, Code Immortal gets you a nice little discount at checkout. Link for that will be down in the description below. Now moving on here, I got a pair of the Sakin and the MP5. MP5 caught a slight headshot nerf, still a great choice for close range considering most SMGs got that same nerf. And the Sakin wasn't really touched for mid to long range. Obviously a bit slower, but super low recoil, really good damage, and in turn, its realistic TTK is going to be very, very nice. Up there with the best of the best. Stip 40 rear grip is all control based. We're tuning to enhance the steadiness and the stability there. AMOP V4 optic per usual, or any other optic you prefer more. Always go for comfortability here. Furthest eye position, faster ADS. Edge 47 underbarrel, better stabilization and stability on those tunes. The Sakin Tread 40, that said, if you wanted to go for a suppressor, you got plenty of options here. They're going to be good. Polar Fire, Talon, Zulu. You could go for those. I like to focus all out on the control here and just make it super simple and straightforward to use. I tune for the better gun kick and stabilization. Then lastly, the Silver Series barrel. Better velocity, better damage range, better control here too. Great for long range gunfights. We're tuning for the better steadiness and damage range. So overall, this thing is going to be shooting straight and it's going to be hitting hard. You can't really ask for a better combination for a long range weapon, right? Then for the MP5, kind of the same setup that we've been running, focusing on aggression here yet again with some control as well. We got the TCG-10 rear grip. It is control based. There's no ADS or sprint to fire variant here, so we just have to tune for that in this case. I go for the 40 round mag. 50, not really that necessary. You could use it, but I feel like 40 is totally sufficient. 7 milliwatt laser, faster ADS and sprint to fire as always. Lock grip precision, you could also go for the drop grip, the Tango underbarrel. You could even drop this for a mobility stock if you wanted to, kind of just preference here. I tune for the better mobility. Then lastly, the Falcon barrel is pretty clutch. Better movement speed, better ADS speed, really makes this feel nice and aggressive, which is something that I feel like just enhances the MP5's lethality even more, makes it even better to use for those close range fights, rushing around and just running and gunning everyone you see. Now, loadout number 6 here consists of the brand new Cronen Squall. As you guys know, in the top 10s, I'm always trying to give you guys setups for the brand new weapons. So spoiler alert, we will be covering the Imperium here in a bit as well. I paired this with the newly buffed BAS-P. Honestly, a pretty slept on SMG, especially for the mid-range. This thing is nice. Close range, it's all right, but like as sniper support, this thing could also work really well. The Cronen Squalls we've talked about before, fantastic TTK, especially in the semi-auto mode. It's going to really thrive there if you have that good trigger finger and can consistently track and trace enemies. This setup is built to be a semi-auto weapon and really focus on the long-range lethality. I got the Cronen Mini Pro basic blue dot. You could always use whatever optic you prefer more, a 3.4, a 4 times. The AMOP V4 doesn't really matter here. Just always tune for that furthest eye position and faster ADS. 30 round mag, pretty standard extended mag. High velocity ammo for the better velocity and consistency over the mid to long range. Better damage range and velocity on those tunes. Edge 47 per usual on the mid to long range. Better stability, better stabilization on those tunes. And then I go for the Talon 5. Better velocity, better range. Going to make the long range feel a little bit more consistent and reliable and easy there, which you'll love to see. Better velocity and ADS on the tunes there. Takes some getting used to. You got to keep in mind with semi-auto, it's always going to have that higher skill gap, but if you can master that, it's going to be well worth it. This is a very rewarding weapon at the end of the day. Then the BAS-P, this setup is really kind of different from some standard SMG setups, but it still works well. It's already got great mobility, and like I said, the mid-range feels really good. Bruin Flash rear grip, better ADS and sprint to fire, tunes to match that. 50 round drum, pretty standard. I go for the overpressured ammo here. It's going to help with that flinch a lot and make it harder for enemies to hit shots on you, which is pretty clutch. I tune for the better velocity and range in this case. 7mm laser to have some, aggressiveness on here too to match that rear grip, better ADS and sprint to fire as always. Then not really too huge on the irons, so I go for the blue dot here, furthest eye position, faster ADS. That's more so preference based. If you're okay with the irons, go for, a stock for mobility or an underbarrel, something like that. But yeah, overall, I mean, the BAS-P, like I said, really slept on. I like it a lot. Players are going to start noticing how good this actually is. Now we get into some of these sniper loadouts. You guys know I had to cover this because we can now one-shot snipe. So we got a couple of options here. They're all kind of preference-based. You could flip-flop a lot of them, quite frankly. This one consists of the Chimera and the FJX Imperium, the intervention. All the snipers are going to be built for long range specifically. Not too huge on the whole quick scoping thing just because of how fast the close range TTK is still. You're going to make it harder on yourself if you're building a sniper to try and compete in SMG and AR type territory. But the Honey Badger, the Chimera, great for, sniper support here. Close to mid-range, it's going to be frying. And this setup is really built to highlight those types of engagements. Bruin Flash rear grip here too, better ADS and sprint to fire. I tune for the better sprint to fire and some recoil steadiness for some consistency there. 45 round extended mag is pretty basic. Tango underbarrel for the better control. I do tune for the better mobility in this case though. Sakin Shred 40 to help out in the mid-range there, just keep this gun easy to use. I tune for the better control and stabilization. Then lastly, I go for the Vorpal barrel. This is going to be for better movement, but also better damage range and ADS. A lot of really solid pros out of this. I tune for the steadiness and damage range. For sniper support, this is one of the best options we have in the game. Then the intervention setup here is pretty much the same that we talked about the other day. You have to run the 408 to have a one-shot headshot here. It does kill the velocity, so a lot of the other attachments will help out with that. I do tune though for the better velocity and better damage range. The Reaper muzzle will help out with that velocity and the damage range as well. We're tuning for even better velocity and a slightly faster ADS. Keep in mind, this thing's not ADSing fast. That's just kind of the nature of the beast if you're going for a long range build. Zero's 29-inch barrel here, better velocity, better range. We're tuning to enhance that range even more than a slightly better strafe speed because why not? You don't need recoil steadiness on this. 7mm laser for some aggression and a slightly faster ADS, right? That's the main focus there. We're of course tuning for the sprint to fire as well. And then I like the 6.6 times optic on all my snipers. This is what I run on every single sniper loadout. If you have a different optic that you like more, as always, run that instead. I tune for that furthest eye position and faster ADS once more. Very nostalgic feeling weapon, and because it can one-shot, it's obviously one of the best sniper options in the game right now. The next sniper loadout consists of the Victus XMR and the 74U, another fantastic close to mid-range option, perfect for sniper support, and the Victus feels just like the intervention does. Like I said, they're all kind of interchangeable and swappable. They're so similar to one another with the one-shot headshot capabilities now, so you gotta go for the 50 cal explosive again to make sure it can one-shot headshot. Better velocity and damage range on the tunes there. The Cobra muzzle in this case is for better velocity, which is nice to see. I tune for the better velocity and the better ADS. I got the Super Barrel, which makes it very slow, but it's going to help out with the range and the velocity, right? I tune to enhance the range and the recoil steadiness. You could also go for the aim walking speed. Like that one just doesn't really matter all that much. 7mm laser, yet again, same deal as over on the intervention. And once more, the 6.6 times optic, same deal here too. So really solid option and one of the few one-shot capable snipers. So of course, it's going to be in the overall meta. The 74U setup is pretty much just based around mobility here. 45 round extended mag for the duo, trio, and quad engagements. X2 rear grip is for control. I tune for the inverse of mobility though, so we're kind of getting everything out of this one singular attachment. R7 stock, same as what we've seen before. I tune for the better mobility here as well. Olay laser, better ADS and sprint to fire. And then lastly, the 209 barrel is fantastic here. Movement speed and ADS speed, perfect for making this a little bit more aggressive in the close range fights. I tune for some steadiness in the mid range, and then also a better ADS speed as well. So this for sniper support, also going to be feeling phenomenal, can really help cover those areas that a sniper is not going to be totally viable in. Then the last sniper loadout that we've got here is the MCPR 300, which again can one-shot snipe and one-shot down, of course. And I pair this one with the STB 556. This is again is really good, especially for the mid-range here. Maybe not as much close range as the 74U or the Chimera, but still competitive enough that it's a great sniper support option here. This setup is mainly built around mobility though, to make it as aggressive as it can possibly be, because it's already super easy to use. The recoil is like non-existent here, right? I go for the better ADS and sprint to fire on the Q900 rear grip, and I tune to match that. Behind the face cam, C11 riser here as well, better ADS and sprint to fire once more. Same deal as with the MX9. Can't stand the irons, so we got to use the Cronen Mini Pro for the side position and faster ADS. 7 milliwatt laser here yet again for all the mobility benefits. And then lastly, the S901 barrel in this case is just all about movement speed. Going to be great for trying to make this a more effective sniper support option. And it does really good at that specifically. That's really where this weapon thrives, in my opinion. Then for the MCPR, it's kind of a similar setup to the other two as well. Gotta have the explosive ammo tuned for the better range and velocity there. Nil Sound 90 suppressor, better velocity, better range, tuned to enhance the velocity and the ADS speed. The OMX barrel is gonna be great here for the better velocity and the better range, which is clutch for this particular build of handling that mid to long range, gunfight and territory with the one-shot down capability. Better range and strafe speed there. Olay laser for at least some snappy ADS. Still not gonna be very fast, but we can help it out where we can, right? And then once more, the 6.6 times scope, no real changes there. All these snipers are super effective at being one-shot kills. They're just all going to be very slow, and you really got to get used to the bullet drop and how the velocity and the leading the shots work, with the explosive ammo being mandatory for this one-shot downs. And then lastly, we have just kind of my mess around class. Quite frankly, the RAAL caught a slight nerf with Season 3. It's still going to be a powerhouse for long range. It's just painfully slow, which is why I haven't been running it as much lately, but for pure damage output, it's like still one of the best in the game. And then same P90 setup that we covered at the start of the loadout, so no change there. We don't have to go over that again. The RAAL setup is going to be pretty consistent here, just based around control, because that's really where it struggles the most. Step 40 rear grip, better control, better steadiness and stability on the tunes there. AMOT V4, same spiel as always, furthest eye position, faster ADS. We got the Dune under barrel, better steadiness here, so just all general recoil control is being attacked there. Stability and stabilization on those tunes. CP90 muzzle, better vertical and horizontal control, tuned to enhance that even more. And then the Rhino barrel gives you really good control and a little bit added velocity as well, which is nice to see. So it's going to help out in multiple areas at the same time. Better range and steadiness on the tunes there. Overall, like I said, the tricky part here is mastering that recoil. If you get that down, this thing is still going to shred, right? And paired with the P90, still feeling very good. So that being said, those are effectively the top 10 best loadouts to be running here in Warzone Season 3. And that's going to wrap things up. If you guys enjoyed the video, let me know by dropping a like on it. And if you're new here, feel free to hit that subscribe button and turn on those post notifications to always stay up to date with all things going on in COD. But once again, thank you so much for tuning in. And until next time, take it easy, have an awesome rest of your day, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace out.